Uh, Best advice to get a beach bod for the summer. Start in the winter. If you want a beach bod, you want to start 6 months in advance. Now I know we're past that point now, but ideally you want to give yourself plenty of time. The biggest mistake people make when they're trying to get in shape for something is leaving it too late. Like you'd be amazed at the number of people who message me and say, I got a holiday coming up in 3 weeks. How do I lose 30 pounds in 3 weeks? Or some crap like that. Or I get people saying, I'm getting married in a month. How do I get in shape in a month? And like, you can't make miracles happen. Sorry. I mean, if there was a miracle quick fix crash diet that actually worked, everybody be doing it and nobody be overweight, right? You need that long-term sustainable approach. And I wish I could give you the quick fix, hey, do 100 sit-ups a day and you'll get ripped abs for the summer. And like, no, it's not going to happen, right? You got to lose the body fat and you got to build the muscle up underneath, and it takes time. There's no quick fix solution. Like start now and work towards getting in shape for summer, but just realize that depending on how much weight you have on or how much fat you got to lose, you're probably not going to be at your best if you're starting from scratch now. You're not probably going to be your best by the time summer rolls around, but you could certainly still be better than you are now. And that's all you really need to focus on, is just being better than you are now. Like as long as you're making progress, like gradually moving forwards versus gradually falling behind, then you will get there. I mean, that's all it is. Like a mentality and a philosophy that I keep focusing on and teaching my Muscle After 40 coaching students is forget this all or nothing extreme approach. Right? Because so many people think, well, I'm going all in, hardcore cutting diet, or screw it, I'm not doing any diet at all. Like this all or nothing. And all or nothing is the biggest mistake you can make. Focus on being good enough, but good enough consistently. And instead of trying to overhaul everything, just focus on getting better than you were before. Like make 1% improvement each day. And if you can just do that, get 1% better, improve your diet 1%, improve your training 1%, like get 1% better. Try and get 1% leaner, 1% stronger, like just baby steps. Always think of just 1% better. And it doesn't seem like much. And no, if you get 1% better, like nobody's going to notice. Nobody's going to give you a pat on the back and say, hey, way to go. Or you're not going to earn a medal or nothing like that. But just think if you got 1% better each day and you compound that day after day, week after week, month after month, like by this time next year, you could look back and say, like, holy smokes, look at the transformation that took place. But it didn't feel overwhelming, or it didn't feel like you were suffering it out or anything like that. It was a gradual, progressive transition. And that's how sustainable fat loss and sustainable fitness works, is it has to be enjoyable and it has to be sustainable and has to be progressive. Versus most people think of, I'm going to suffer it out. I'm going to cut my carbs. I'm going keto. I'm going to do 2 hours of cardio. I'm going to work out 6 days a week. I'm boiled chicken, broccoli, blah, blah, blah. Like, yes, that works for the short term while you're suffering it out and feeling like a bag of crap and you're depriving yourself. But who wants to suffer it out and deprive themselves for the rest of their life? Nobody. So if it's not sustainable, the results are only temporary. Because as soon as you stop that nose to the grindstone approach and you start going back to your old habits, whatever the heck it is you're normally doing now, then you're going to go back to looking like however the heck you're looking right now. The thing is, you need to change the underlying habits. You need to change and reprogram the foundation in order for the results to last. And this applies with everything. And I'll give you an analogy to make this make more sense. Think of finances. Like imagine you took someone who's doesn't know how to manage their money and they went out and they won the lottery. And this happens a lot. I'm sure you've probably heard examples of this. Like you get someone who's on welfare, like a low income person. They go out and they buy lottery tickets, and every now and then you hear of someone, they win the lottery, they hit the jackpot. So they have enough money to sustain them for the rest of their life, right? I mean, like if they managed that money, invested it, looked after it, like they could live off that money for the rest of their life and never have to worry about finances ever again. But more often than not, you'll see someone who wins the lottery, and within 5 to 7 years after they win the lottery, they're back to their old financial situation again. Like because they blow the money, right? They go out there and they live crazy, blowing money left, right, and center. And then next thing you know, they're back to their old habits again, and they're back to their old financial situation. So if they were broke before they won the lottery, within 5 to 7 years, they're going to be broke again because they haven't changed who they are. They haven't changed their money management skills. They haven't changed the foundation. So they're going to go back to their default settings. The same applies with fitness. Like if I could wave a magic wand and say abracadabra, boom, you've got 6-pack abs, and you woke up the tomorrow morning shredded, lean, ripped, defined, muscles on top of muscles and not an ounce of fat on you, like perfect beach body. If you don't have the habits to sustain that body, you're going to gradually go back to your old fat, out of shape habits, and you'll build an old fat, out of shape body. And I'm prime example of this, because in my days when I used to compete in bodybuilding, I could suffer it out, and I would suffer it out. I'd go on the hardcore boiled chicken and broccoli diet, do 2 hours of cardio, weight training 6 days a week, and I'd be burning the candle at both ends. And yes, I would suffer it out and get in shape for the short term. Like, there's a contest coming up in 16 weeks. And I say, okay, I got 16 weeks to suffer it out. And I'd suffer it out for the short term, get in shape for the contest. But then as soon as the contest was over, the placings were announced and the photos were taken and the dust settled, then it was like, okay, now what? Right? The goal is achieved. Now what? Then I'd go back to my old habits. So like, okay, where's the all-you-can-eat buffet? Where's the pizza place? Where's the ice cream shop? Where's the bakery? Right? Where's all the junk that I was craving while I was suffering it out on the diet? So I'd go and start eating all of that crap again. And then within a few weeks, I'd start piling on the weight. So it took months to lose it, only a few weeks to gain it all back. And then here I was back to square one, fatter than ever, and then trying to justify it by telling everybody that I was bulking up in the off season because I didn't change my underlying core habits. I just suffered it out in the short term. And yes, suffering it out in the short term, you can achieve a short term before and after. But if you want sustainable results, you can't rely on suffering it out in the short term. You have to change your underlying habits and reprogram your default settings. It's almost like reprogramming your compass so that you're doing the right things automatically without conscious effort and willpower. And that's what we focus on now. Like the whole Muscle After 40 blueprint program that I have, it's not a diet, right? It's not like here's some hardcore macro split and, extreme workout that's going to force you and suffer it out to get in shape. It's about reprogramming all those underlying habits so that you get in shape slowly but gradually. But the weight you lose is the weight you keep off, right? The progress you make is progress you keep. And then you slowly transition so that now you're getting in better shape and you're sustaining it without feeling like you're on a diet. And that's the secret to this. And that's why, people have gone through it like year, 2 year, 3 years, some guys going on their 4th year afterwards, they're still maintaining the results because it's not a short-term diet. Whereas the average person, they lose a bunch of weight in the short term, and then you see them 6 months or a year later, and they're just as fat as they were before because they go through that whole yo-yo diet, binge eat, rebound, weight gain cycle. We don't want that. We want to change the core habits so the progress you make is progress you keep. Now, granted, that's a slower process, but it's sustainable. And you got to think bigger. Like instead of thinking, well, where do I want to be in 6 weeks or something like that? Where do you want to be in 6 years? Like, where do you want to be in 10 years? Like, that's when all these little tiny habits and the sustainable approach can make a life-changing transformation. So if you see someone who has bad habits and they live bad habits for a decade, or someone who has good habits and they live good habits and good enough consistently for a decade, that's when it's like, holy shit, like, what are you doing? And then it's like, it's not that they're doing anything crazy. It's just that they've changed their core habits and their foundation, and they're slowly getting better, whereas most people are slowly getting worse. And that's the difference, right? It's just all these little tiny in-the-moment decisions. So it's a different approach, a different philosophy. So again, I wish I had the quick fix answer for you to get ripped, for summer. But if you wanted to get ripped for summer, you had to start long ago, at least 6 months ago.
I have learned more about my nutrition in the last 5 to 6 months with you than I have learned in my entire time of trying this out. Not only you, but from all the guys in the group. I am at my lowest weight and I feel better than I ever have. Composition wise, I feel better than I ever have. And I think a lot of that really comes down to learning how to eat, looking at food differently and looking how to eat and why you're eating at a certain time and stuff. Right. That's where I've learned more than I ever did before.
It's a completely different life I think the initial reservations I had was I would have to give up my life that I thought was so great, when in actuality it really wasn't that great. Staying up late and drinking and eating whatever I wanted, and being that heavy and out of shape and everything. Like, I don't know why there was any kind of reservation of like, oh no, I don't want to give this up. I don't want to give this up, because looking back, this is a completely different life, and it's a completely better life.
This has become my life. I get up because I'm going to work out. I'm an athlete of aging. I'm a master's athlete, and and athletes eat well. Athletes train well. Athletes take care of their bodies. It's a new identity.
I feel like a different person. I look at my body, and sometimes I'm like, wow, I look pretty good. And I'm really I really appreciate my body now. There's room for improvement. I'm still human. I could be better, but I look at myself. I'm like, I feel good. I'm comfortable with me.
Yeah, that I think really is why your program spoke to me so much. Is this isn't a diet. This is just a lifestyle change.
Once again, I'll keep hammering this point home: this is sustainable. And honestly, too, just from a coaching standpoint, you do a really good job of being accessible to the group members. That I have access to you, and I know I can schedule in my monthly coaching call, and you're going to help me out. But I know in between those scheduled calls, if I need something, it's a Facebook Messenger message, and you're going to get back to me as quickly as you can and help me out. If it's something really pressing, you'll even take the time to record a video and send us the video if it needs to be addressed like that. You're there for support. Considering the support side of the program is probably as important, if not more important, than the actual weightlifting and nutrition side of things. From that standpoint, we've got a great program as far as the nutrition and the weightlifting side goes, but we've got a coach that's there for you to help you when you need it. So that's why I think I've seen so many guys in the program have the success that they have had or they are currently having. We've got the right things there, the right tools, all that they need to succeed, but we've got the support in place.
It was pretty amazing this morning when I jumped on the scale. I had lost a pound, because my goal is now in the next 2 weeks is to try to get to the 240s. And I was 251 this morning. And when I entered into my Fitbit, which I got right here, just kind of waiting, all of a sudden it popped up an update. Congratulations on your 100-pound weight loss.
Wow. Oh, shit. So you didn't even know it?
I didn't know, no, because I wasn't tracking, right? Like I said, this is the lightest I've been in over 30 years. So, I mean, it's quite an achievement. I can't remember the last time I seen 250.
Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to continuing on with the journey and so seeing that progress happen even more.
Well, thanks, Lee. It's been a pleasure, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. I really can't.